Okay.
It's the middle of May and we've had nothing but rain and rain. And today, suddenly the clouds are open. It's supposed to rain again tomorrow with snow down to 1,500 meters, which is just above our hill. So we have to take this opportunity of enjoying what we have this morning. Here is Colin's new wall, freshly painted. And the ivy is to match the color of the yellow. This is our new path, the first spring. All of this stuff here was pulled out last fall and then replanted last fall. So this is the first spring. And I'm amazed how well this already looks. Then on the left, this is sort of islands, if you like. And I love the color combination of the dark, almost blackish tulips and the pink. I like to plant things naturally, but at the same time, I want sort of a controlled harmony, if you like. Here we come into the next part of the path, or the room, if you like. And here I just noticed a visitor we have never seen before. I don't even know what it is. It looks a bit like a dragonfly, but what a treat. Behind him, you can see the last of the daffodils and the beginning of the peonies, the Welsh poppies. And we come up and you meet the last of the spring with some late tulips on the right, and here on the left you have this wonderful mixture of different colors growing wildly together. This is where we had breakfast this morning, and it's our very favorite place because we just look out on the more idyllic parts of the landscape. The industrial center is closed out, and you just see the lake and some farmhouses, but most of real life is closed out. These are the stairs leading to the upper part of the garden, and here are our bluebells. Up there, rhododendron, which I moved last spring. Some of the rhododendrons are already over, the azaleas are starting, and as you see, everywhere I planted in such a way that something always flowers. And if I'm lucky, the colors melt. The orange with the tips, with the late tulips there, and the bluebells. We are at the top of the main part of the garden. On the right, all the hostas are just out, full. In fact, they are so sick I'll have to send them next year. The Doronicum, sort of like a Margaret type thing, looking very natural. If you look across, you'll see that even though I planted different things, they melt into one another. The yellow from here is repeated over there. And here is one of my favorite pictures of the moment, the way that wisteria sort of meanders around that trunk, going back to the entrance, and the lilacs. Here are the Colin West Memorial Stairs, as he calls them, that he's put in, which take us down to this area. And you look down again onto the path that we came up. You see, this bed is completely different, the other one from the other, but they melt into one another. I've come down the Colin West Memorial Stairs, and I'm in the middle of the center of the wisteria and the lilac, and the way these sort of beds melt into one another. There's the top, the pale blue, and then yellow here of a very late daffodil going into the tulips on the other side of the path that we came up. I love this little picture here. These pale blue flowers together with all the forget-me-nots which have just seeded themselves here, and the columbines, all different colors and mixtures. It's a wonderful little patch of wilderness at the moment, which is just in front of the view. That is actually one now full of promise because of all of the iris being ready to bloom. Originally, the season started with about 100 daffodils, mainly at the back, and about 200 mixed tulips, with yellow dominating, which is reflected by the euphorbias here, the different yellows. The grey at the front is to sort of put in a neutral color between the green of the grass and the greens in the bed. And when this wave is through, so we have the daffodils, tulips, then come all the irises, and later on will be the roses. And again, these yellow doronicums here, which give it a sort of a natural feeling and lightness.
Okay.
And when I look, I can't believe that over the years I've put all of this in. Originally, there were absolutely no flowers here, but at the back, blocking out the view, there were forsythia and lilacs and huge old pine trees. And now this little wonder of a magic carpet. Here is our bog bed in front of the terrace. It's so wet that I plant mainly things which take the wet. Then we look back onto the area where we had breakfast.
Okay.
Here is our fish pond, except there are no fish left in there. But the ducks are ready to supervise the situation.
Right.
This is looking back to where we just were. You can see how one bed melts into another. This is the pool bed, and at the moment what dominates here are the dark leaves of the roses, of the euchera, and of the dark tulips, and the white of the viola, which is particularly nice when it gets dark because the white still shines out. But this is mainly large roses which will come into flower, I guess, in a couple of weeks. This here is the corner, which in a month or so will be all blue with clematis.
Cut.
Coming up the path, the upper part of the garden, the shade, here the azaleas starting to flower, and I like all the hostas and the bluebells. And on here, this wonderful pink path is the last of the petals of the Japanese cherry tree, which was an absolute wonder a little while ago. This stone sculpture at the top is what we call Jan Huub, our Dutch friend, who brought it here. And the lonicera, the azaleas are starting out, and we look out onto the lake. It's another favorite view of ours. This is the back bed. Behind that there is a road, and this is what I look out on from my desk. At the beginning of the season, this was just full of helleborus, and then white daffodils and white tulips. And now we have the bluebells, the hostas, the one or two late tulips, the doronicum, and the light leaves of the weigelia. It's very... Okay. This takes us to the stairs, which lead us down again to where we have breakfast. Completing our walk on this morning, Saturday morning, middle of May.